Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the I Need a Magic show. So in this video I'm going to show you why we have the most expensive chatbots. Well, I've seen a handful of AI chatbot vendors that have a more expensive chatbot than us, but we're probably up there in the top 5%, maybe 3% most expensive AI chatbots in the world. Now, if you go to our page, inedo.io, and you use Chrome Developer Tools, function F12, and you inspect the network usage, then you will actually see that the chatbot itself is 4.5 kilobytes of JavaScript. Including all of its resources, it is less than 100 kilobytes of JavaScript. This is a really big deal because when you add a button to your page and that button downloads megabytes of data, and that significantly degrades the performance of your website, resulting in that your conversion reduces simply because of that people clicks the back button before the website is done loading. Now, if you have a 10-second load time on your web page, then more than 50% of users will actually click the back button immediately. So the core front-end technology of the chatbot is extremely optimized. I've seen AI chatbots delivering several megabytes of JavaScript and CSS. Our delivers less than 100 kilobytes, meaning less than 10% of the industry average. Then the UI for the chatbot is 100% responsive. It is super slick, created according to modern standards in every way conceivable. Now, here you can see, for instance, these are actually, this is a questionnaire, but there are no questions in this questionnaire. There are only messages. And this is conversation starters, allowing the user to have suggestions to how to initiate a conversation with the chatbot. Now, as you can see, I cannot scroll the website. That is just a tiny little detail that makes the US user experience for the AI chatbot 10 times higher quality than if you allow for scrolling as the website is open. Now, if I ask it, tell me about your chatbot, right? Then it starts answering in 3 seconds. It streams the chatbot response, and it is using OpenAI's APIs beneath the hood, of course. However, our RAG database is significantly higher quality than just a simple standard scraping process, because we're actually taking the HTML and we're transforming it into Markdown. Now, if I ask it, for instance, to illustrate how that benefits you in your end product, let me ask it who works here. Now, if you imagine, okay, that's probably a not particularly interesting question, but the point is I happen to know that this question actually triggers images. Now, if you imagine you have a technical support type of product, then you would probably want to guide those users with images being screenshots, showing users how to actually accomplish whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. If you have an e-commerce website where you're selling products online, you would probably want the AI chatbot to display product images. We're one of very, very few chatbot AI vendors that are able to actually display images as an integrated part of the chatbot response. And then, of course, as you're maximizing the chatbot, the images changes up to a maximum of 100% width. So this allows you to zoom in on the images and actually better look at them. Then we have these guys. Now, these, we call them FAQ buttons. They're not really FAQ buttons, but they are kind of like conversation starters that you can embed on your own web page that triggers the chatbot. We're using it down here in our own FAQ, questions and answer parts on our website. If I, for instance, click this button, now you will see that what happens is that the chatbot is immediately initiated, and it asks that question, which actually starts a conversation for the user from the primary website, right? If I find another one, can I theme my chatbot, right? Then you will see it starts answering that particular question. Why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because the chatbot will do everything it can to give the user a personalized experience of your website, encouraging you to contact us and or leave your email address such that that triggers a lead generation for us, allowing us to enter into a conversation with you, with the end result being, of course, that we're hoping to sell you on our product. So if you imagine this chatbot on your website doing the same thing, except with your products, you might begin to fathom the idea of the power of this simple feature. Then let's have a look at the backend for the chatbot. You see, we're not giving you a chatbot, we're giving you a complete cloud. At the cloudlet, it's basically your own virtual private server. And actually, it's a complete low-code and no-code software development orchestration framework, even allowing you to visually design and create your own databases, connect to your existing databases, and even automatically create an endpoint, backend, web API, wrapping your database of choice. If I now go into the endpoint generator here now, I click generate endpoints, you will see that within some few seconds, the system produced 409 lines of code for me. This allows me to create extremely customized modules where I do some sort of domain specific and store data and do domain-specific business logic for your particular chatbot. So we don't have, quote-unquote, one chatbot. We have one unique chatbot for every single client we onboard. And typically, we spend 5 to 20 hours in this interface every single time we onboard a client to apply whatever special business logic that particular client has. And this allows us to deliver a completely unique, customized, personalized AI chatbot that solves the client's problems, whatever they happen to be. Now, if I go into, for instance, HyperIDE here and now, I can click on modules, I can click on Brave CRM, and I can actually have a look at the code the system automatically generated for me. If I now want to, for instance, on the accounts post HTTP endpoint, let's say I want to trigger an email. Okay, I go up here, email, and ta-da, I'm now sending an email as the post HTTP endpoint is triggered. So this allows us to extremely rapidly build 100% customized domain-specific logic for every single individual client. Every single one of our clients gets a 100% unique, handcrafted, quote-unquote, AI chatbot. Now, if I go back to machine learning or into machine learning, here you can see, for instance, training data. If I find one particular model here now, let's do HubSpot. This is a demo chatbot I created by scraping HubSpot's website. You can actually see the training material and the quality of it, and you can even preview it, which will actually show you the images we found as we scraped HubSpot's website. This was 100% automatically created. And if I now go into create and I go to chatbot wizard and I write a domain here and I click start, actually let me do that. Let me do iniro.io and let me just scrape 5 pages here and configure the thing to be a sales executive. Then some few seconds later, the system will not only have actually scraped and vectorized and created a machine learning model for me or a RAG database, etc., but it will also even actually create a demo sample page by scraping the primary landing page at iniro.io and inject the chatbot onto that web page by default, allowing me to instantly try out the chatbot as if it was embedded on my website. This process, at the end of this process, which takes some few minutes, I will get a website that basically looks like this. It won't work with iniro.io because we already have a chatbot button here, right? So we will just like put a new button on top of that one. However, I suspect you get the point. Now, if I do, for instance, let's see, green, and let's change it to a little bit darker green, and this is probably not going to work, but you know, if I copy the HTML here, actually I might be able to get it to work if I go into etc. and I go into www, and then I find my Nero thing here, and then let me see if I can find the embed script here. Should be down here. Script. Thomas test. Okay, so here is this guy. Let's see if I can get it to work. And now I should have a purple AI chatbot. I didn't get it to work because the other chatbot is interfering with the demo I created. So, and then you have a log. You can completely automate the entirety of the system. You can create tokens where you have third-party services that invokes your backend. You can generate a web API endpoint. You can generate a SQL-based endpoint. Here I can go to the endpoint generator. And I can create an SQL-based HTTP API endpoint based upon SQL, taking parameters if I wish. I can go into users. I can create multiple users in the system, assign them to roles, allowing me to automate parts of the system, giving access to one particular user to do things inside of my system. I can integrate the AI chatbot with my CRM system. I can install plugins that expands upon the AI chatbots any ways I see fit, etc., etc., etc. Now, if you want to, you can get an AI chatbot for $10 a month. We're charging $300 for our least expensive plan. But there's a reason for that. And that reason is, first of all, we've got magic, right? And magic is what you're looking at now. Magic is the foundation for our chatbot. Second of all, we spend 20 hours sometimes configuring your chatbot, resulting in that when we deliver you an AI chatbot, that thing is literally farting gold nuggets. So now you know why this thing here is one of the most expensive AI chatbots in the industry. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.